Hello again, folks. Welcome back, and thank you for subscribing. Now, hold the front page because Tommy Robinson, the man the establishment loves to hate, has just walked away from an altercation at St Pancras station without a charge to his name. Oh, I can hear the lefties choking on their quinoa already. How dare he not be guilty of something, they shriek, clutching their pearls. But let's unpack this, shall we? Because, as usual, the truth has a funny way of slipping through the cracks of the narrative. So this is what happened. Back in July, I think it was, at London's St Pancras station, there was a bit of a dust-up. A 64-year-old bloke ends up on the floor, and Tommy's there pacing about saying, "He came at me, bruv." Yeah. That's my Tommy Robinson impression. If you're watching, please don't take offence. Anyway, because, apparently that's how you talk when you're in the middle of a ruckus in a train station. Naturally, the media pounds like a pack of hyenas sniffing for blood. Far-right thug Tommy Robinson assaults innocent pensioner. You can just imagine the headlines, can't you? They were itching to write. The British Transport Police swoop in, arrest him at, I think it was Luton Airport, wasn't it, when he lands from Portugal, and the stage is set for another public crucifixion of the man they branded Britain's most notorious troublemaker. Except the Crown Prosecution Service has just dropped the bombshell. No charges. Nada. Zilch. Nout. Why? Because the alleged victim, God bless his soul, decided he didn't fancy providing a statement. And get this, the CCTV footage shows this fella following Tommy before the whole thing kicked off. So, they were quick to demonise him. And Tommy Robinson knew he was innocent and knew there were cameras there that would prove it. But I guess they just didn't want to release the footage. I wonder why. So that's right. It looks like Tommy was the one being hassled. And then a push came to shove, literally. He defended himself. Perfectly within the law, according to the CPS, who, let's be honest, aren't his biggest fans. So no realistic prospect of conviction, they say. And Tommy walks free again. Now, let's pause for a moment and enjoy the delicious irony, because the same system that's thrown the book at Tommy for everything from contempt of court to everything probably has to admit there's no case here. And doesn't that just stick in their craw? You can hear the cogs grinding in the Home Office. How do we spin this one to make him look like the bad guy? We regret to inform the public that Mr. Yaxley Lennon has committed a crime on this occasion, but rest assured, we're keeping an eye on him. I bet they are. And here's the thing, Tommy himself took to X because where else do you go when the legacy media's got you in their crosshairs, and said, after police investigated, it's been proven, I was the victim. So there we go, victim, folks, not the villain, not the aggressor, not the bogeyman, not the Nazi, but the victim. And he's got a point when he asks, why was he arrested at all? The police had the footage, they knew the score, yet they still dragged him off the plane like he's, I don't know, Pablo Escobar reincarnated. So, two-tier policing, anyone? It's not exactly subtle anymore, is it? No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Tommy's a saint. He's a rough-around-the-edges bloke from Luton who spent years poking the establishment in the eye with a sharp stick. He's not everyone's cup of tea, is he? But here's the thing. When you're public enemy number one for daring to talk about issues the elite would rather sweep under the rug, they don't need much of an excuse to come at you, do they? An altercation at a train station? Perfect. Let's lock him up and throw away the key. Except this time, the evidence didn't play ball, did it? And isn't it funny how the media's gone quiet on this one? When Tommy was arrested, it was wall-to-wall coverage. Far-right extremist, anti-immigrant agitator, The Guardian, The New York Times, Al Jazeera, Sly News, BBC, Channel 4 News. Everyone was piling on. But now he's cleared? Crickets. You think they'd at least have the decency to print a follow-up. Sorry, we got it wrong. Turns out he was acting in self-defence. But no, that doesn't fit the narrative, does it? The script says Tommy's the bogeyman, and facts be damned if they get in the way of a good story. So what's the takeaway here? Maybe it's that the truth has a nasty habit of surfacing, even when the powers that be would rather it stay buried. Maybe it's that self-defence isn't a crime, no matter how much the chattering classes wish it was when it's Tommy Robinson doing the defending. Or maybe, just maybe, it's that the system got a serious case of selective outrage. They'll bend over backwards to nail Tommy for a tweet or a leaflet or a video or a speech, but when a bloke comes at him in a train station, suddenly it's move along, nothing to say here. Look, you don't have to like Tommy Robinson, you don't have to agree with the word he says, but when the state of the media gang up to paint a man as a monster, and then the evidence says otherwise, you've got to ask yourself, who's really pulling the strings here and why are they so desperate to shut him up? Food for thought. And the guy's got a handful of Osmond warnings, given to him by the police. So he can be forgiven for being a bit jumpy if people follow him around. Anyway, there we go, that's me done. I'm off to have a cup of tea and watch the establishment squirm. Keep your eyes peeled, folks, because the truth's got a funny way of coming out, doesn't it? No matter how hard they try to bury it. I'm Paz49, thanks for watching, and until the next time, Roger Trout.